I have to really get into this one here so that you guys can really understand because so many um, brothers that really are interested in um, coming here and getting together and us going forward with the town hall meetings, going forward with the police registry. They're really adamant about that, but I need to shore up their confidence in who I am and what I want us to become because they're not going to want to come all the way on the other side of the world for some bullshit. Okay, we call it the China syndrome. Like you could drill a hole in right where you stand in there and in the Midwest up there, and you'll come straight out into China. Okay, just I mean we are on the exact other side of the earth, and that's a long trip. It's not for the faint at heart. Okay, 24-hour flight, but you don't come that far just on some humbug. So this is not a humbug trip. And I need to share enough about my strategy and my mindset so that you will feel comfortable in collaborating with me. Now, um, I don't know what year it is, you guys. I think it was 1974, 75 when Muhammad Ali went to Zaire to fight George Foreman. They said that Muhammad Ali watched videos and films of George Foreman fighting. Spent more time watching videos and films of that man fighting than he did actually training in the ring. The reason for that is because his trainer, Angelo Dundee, y'all remember him, his trainer told him, he said, George Foreman, bigger than you, stronger than you, just as fast as you, but above all, he hits harder. He said, Ali, all I can do is pray. Because that man is something else. He's a monster in the ring. So Ali, taking all that into account, sat up there and watched every bit of that man's move. And Ali knew that the only way he could beat him was in here. He had to think of a way to beat this man because he could not use his skills, his speed to do it. He had to do something else. So together, him and his trainers came up with the rope-a-dope. And to this day, they use that term, the rope-a-dope, being suckered in to overexerting yourself. Because what he did, he laid against them ropes and took every body blow that man could give him. Pretended like it was wearing him out. See, he duped him. Pretended like it was hurt. All the while taking everything he got until he wore himself out. And then he beat the shit out of that man. Won his world title back. Okay? From the best boxer in the world. A man that could clearly beat his butt. But he outsmarted. He thought. He used his head. And when I tell you guys, use your head, I'm using mine. In 2019, at the Army-Navy game, see, I've always been thinking about going after my enemy, okay? Which is global white supremacy. I've realized early on their Achilles heel was currency. But how do I get in there and get them to slip up? And so in 2019, Army-Navy game, after the game, Navy and Army personnel was doing this. Y'all know that symbol? That's the symbol for white supremacy. Okay? Nazism. And I seen that. And days later, 2 days later, I mean, it took off like a firestorm. And they said, oh, it's just a game, sort of like tag or whatever, you know. And I started laughing because there was no disciplinary action going there. Okay? And I said, weakness. See, every time they make a mistake, I see a weakness, right? And I chalk it up. And I thought, wow, amazing. Months later, okay, COVID. So we're dealing with COVID. People are, really upset over that. And they rush the vaccine out. Well, the President of the United States, who is also the Commander-in-Chief, sat up and said, and see, this was the first time I seen it, and then the second time I seen it shortly thereafter. But the Commander-in-Chief sat up and ordered all military personnel to take the vaccine. In Oklahoma, the head of the Oklahoma National Guard, who is a confirmed white nationalist, refused. He refused. All his troops would give it. So they can get it if they want to, but he refused to order them. That was number two. This man disobeyed a direct order from the Commander-in-Chief. Not a damn thing happened. Then they had immigrants down there at the border. Colorado National Guard went, I don't know how many states that is. I got to have a map in my head right now, you guys. I think that's a 4-state trip. They left out of Colorado, got down there in Texas to defend the border against presidential orders. Stay your ass in Colorado. You don't leave the state unless you are given permission by the Commander-in-Chief. That's the National Guard. And recently, the Oklahoma National Guard, I told you about him. He's white nationalist too, Nazi. He was headed down there too. Then the media showed that there was no big caravan down at the border, but they were going down there, and he said they're not taking any dum-dum rounds. They're taking full-on assault weapons with live rounds. Biden has no control of his military. Like that wasn't enough. A 21-year-old kid gets caught showing, he didn't sell it, showing top secret information. I mean, and this is that shit that's for Five Eyes. I mean, only 5 nations presidents are allowed to see this shit. I mean, this is some top secret shit. That kid's on his computer and he's showing it to all his friends. Well, they catch him and they charge him, and then it comes out that when he was in high school, he was a Nazi and he was charged with plotting a school shooting. Okay? A mass shooting event. And because he didn't go through with it, all they could do was charge him with it. But the fact came out that he was a Nazi. Then, when he graduates high school, he joins the military and gets a top secret security clearance. You can't get a top secret security clearance if you remember Black Lives Matter and they're a peaceful organization. That boy got a top secret security clearance. And he's not. And then you look at that Rhodes fella who's over, what are the Oath Keepers. He's over Oath Keepers. The number one man. They said he had a top secret security clearance. He had just got out of the military with a top secret security clearance. And here he is a confirmed Nazi. Okay. How in the hell are they getting these top secret security clearances? Everybody know that they're Nazi. So their top secret security clearance. You guys, I had sensitive. I didn't have top secret. I had sensitive. And they raked through my past. Okay, they went into my neighborhood and talked to my neighbors. Okay, a couple of my neighbors. All right, talked to my school teachers, principal. I was in the nuclear program, but I wasn't in top secret shit. I was insensitive, which means that I did see stuff that was secret, but they vetted me, okay, pretty damn good, I thought. So you can imagine the vetting that anyone would get that is doing top secret. And these people are able to get in with top secret clearance. That lets you know that in those high echelons, that's who's there. Which is why I'm written a letter to the black American soldier. And when I start distributing that, every black soldier is going to have an opportunity to read that because they have plans to disarm black soldiers in theater. If y'all don't know what that means that if they're deployed in any country, they will disarm them. Okay? They have a contingency for that. What led to that was after World War II, the black soldiers had just liberated France and Italy and all of them, and they had riots. The U.S. government turned on the black soldiers and started killing them and shooting them. Okay? This happened. These riots, you Google it and you will see that they had the riots in Great Britain, Italy, France. These are American black, these are your uncle, your great uncles, grandpas had to fight for their life. And when they got to the U.S. and will be on the bus, they pulled soldiers off the Greyhound buses and beat them to death, hung them. This is the reality of the country you in. That's why black soldiers need to know that. Because they didn't know it a few months back when the juntas, I can't pronounce it right, they're in Yemen, and they were bombing ships going through, okay, with drones. And there wasn't black support for what was happening in Palestine. And so to drum up black support, Biden killed 3 black soldiers with a drone. Remember that drone strike in Yemen? It was on an American base. Everyone witnessed it. They said that was an American drone because they said, how could one of the junta's drones enter that far into an American base? That was an American drone. It can only be flown by Americans. They killed those 3 black soldiers to gather up some type of support, thinking they were going to gather up support for Israel, okay, against the Houthis or whatever you call them. You Google it and you'll read about it, and they got the 3 pictures of the black servicemen and 2 guys and a gal. They were blown up by their own government, just like them ones over there in Afghanistan. You remember all them people waiting at the airport trying to get to the U.S. because U.S. promised them you sell out your own people, you do work for us as contractors, and you work for us as interpreters, and you help us kill your own brothers, and we will get you out of here. You got a free ticket to the USA. And all those people, boy, when Biden said, hey, we leave in Afghanistan, those people ran to the airport trying to get on the plane. Well, it got to the point where that it was just more and more and more of them. And people were shooting and killing them, trying to keep them from getting to the airport. And it wasn't Taliban. Taliban said, no, we don't care if they leave. We're not stopping them. We're going to help them. They was helping them get to the airport. Taliban was. The ones who was the Americans who hired the Afghanistanis as security guys. and told them, now you be our security guys, you police your own people, you kill your own people, you do all this, and we'll give you a ticket to the USA. Well, they seen all them people in line getting ready to leave, and they weren't being put on the damn airplanes. They was out there in the streets, supposed to be guarding for the U.S. And they're like, oh, hell no. So Biden said, hey, listen, we got to get rid of all these people, because it was hundreds of thousands of people that was waiting out there outside of that gate. So what Biden and them do? They sent in a goddamn bomb and bombed their own people. 16 U.S. personnel got killed in that bomb. And then immediately after the bomb, they started shooting. The American soldiers started shooting all those civilians. Google it, you'll find out. CNN finally reported on it and said, no, Biden and them lied and said there was no gunfire. There was 2 gunfire. Hundreds of people got shot and killed. So after they did that, hours later, wasn't nobody at that gate no more. And so then they was able to pack up and leave. That's what that was. They done left all them people there. See, they did that shit in Vietnam. I never will forget. I seen women and men hanging on them helicopters as they was lifting up out of Ho Chi Minh. No, it was a pitiful sight. Pitiful sight. Because America's promised them, hey, listen, you sell out your own people, help us to kill your own people, and, we'll do a little something for you here, get you to America. Promised them all that shit. So them South Vietnamese, when America was leaving up out of there, said, oh, hell no. I seen a woman, she took a man's rifle, it has a strap. She put the strap around the leg of the helicopter. So when the helicopter took off, she's holding on to that strap and had her legs wrapped around the other part of the helicopter leg. And she went up like this, and they flew, and they went straight into them damn trees so the helicopter leg could hit them damn trees. And pieces of that woman start coming off because, branches just cut her up. And anybody else that was on the leg of that helicopter, them dudes was ruthless flying up out of there. They was coming up out of there, boy. And they couldn't have them people weighing them down on them choppers. You already had a full pack full of gear and other personnel. So when they went and did them treetop cleanings, they call it treetop cleaning. That's a reality, y'all. United States, this is who United States is. Okay? And they have a weakness. And so I'm seeing all their weaknesses and I'm putting them all together. So trust me when I tell you. Okay? These son of bitches, anything that we do, any act of civil disobedience, such as getting together and having town hall meetings, that'll bring it down. Okay? So you can't be somebody like Dr. Umar, who's always talking about let's get our finances together and this and that so that we could get in the house. They want to be in the house, okay? And I don't want to be in the house. I tell you, y'all, it ain't that glorious. It really ain't. Burn it down. Let them burn it down. Let them do it. We ain't got to do nothing. H. Rap Brown said, burn, baby, burn. Because he understood it was going to burn down. And he knew what I'm about to tell you. See, this is scuttlebutt. Because I always tell you guys, you can call me anything but a lie. So when I tell you something that I don't know factually, okay, I'm going to let you know it's scuttlebutt. And this right here is scuttlebutt. But it makes all the sense in the world. In 1950, the Treasury Secretary of the United States, he got the president, the vice president, and he got all the financial wheelers and dealers, the big bankers and the industrialists. He got them all together in a meeting. Now, this was a private meeting. This was usually what travels around with the president is what's called trusted press, which means they only going to print what allowed to be printed. They wouldn't even allow them in the room. Okay? And this man got together and he told them, he said, listen, he said, you think 1929 was bad? He said, we got something coming in 20 years that's going to be far worse. He said, our economy is going. It's going to be gone. We're going to burn in ashes. Okay? And they said, well, you called us together just to tell us that? Is there a remedy? And he looked at them. He said, well, it depends on what you're willing to do. And they looked at him and he said, here's your problem. The U.S. dollar, the black community, is where the U.S. dollar goes to die. He said, you never see it again. Once old Joe and Annie Bell get that U.S. dollar in their hands, U.S. government never see it again. We never see it. And he said, the problem is Jim Crow. Jim Crow won't allow that dollar in the bank. Jim Crow won't allow that dollar in the insurance company. Jim Crow won't allow that dollar in the grocery store. Jim Crow won't allow that dollar in beauty salons, in the restaurants. He said, you guys, you need that black dollar because it's gone. And if you can figure out a way to break Jim Crow, then you can save America because you can get that black dollar. H. Rap Brown knew that. Why the hell are we going to go around here and give our money to them? They didn't want it before. We had our own bus line. We had our own cab companies. We had our own theaters. We had our own restaurants. We had our own banks. We had our own schools. Why would we want to turn around now and give them our money? He said, burn, baby, burn. Let it burn. He said, they're in trouble. And they wouldn't listen to him. They wouldn't listen to him because they just wanted so bad to be loved by massa. And that's what spawned civil rights. You think Martin Luther King was an accident? That son bitch was taken out of school just as and I tell people, my grandmother was worried about that happening to me. They get the best and the brightest, and they flip them, okay? They took that boy out of Morehouse College, took him up there in the New England states, and groomed him. They even picked out his wife. He didn't court Coretta Scott King. They took him down there to what's that college, y'all? It most liberal college in America. It was where whites and blacks went to school together. Okay, and Yellow Springs is the name of the town. Okay, and my uncle used to joke about that. He said that was a funny name for that town because everybody's mixed. They allowed interracial relationships. And she went to that college, Antioch College, I think the name of it is. And they groomed her and him, put them together. That's how they met. They didn't have a courtship. It was sort of like Bill Clinton and Hillary Rodham. Okay? They were just placed together. Okay? This is a marriage of convenience. Okay? For this boy, and they sent his ass down there in Alabama to get shit started. Okay? And that's what they were there for. Rosa Parks, you think that was a real? That was choreographed. All the magazines and publications and media, which was ABC, NBC, and CBS, they were all present when that woman went and sat on that goddamn bus and refused to get up. And he got arrested. That was all choreographed. It was all plotted and planned. Okay? Funding was sent in. Money. White dollars was sent in to assist those folks in their boycott. Okay, sort of like that Black Lives Matter movement, financed by a white billionaire who had interests in them doing what they did, which wasn't anything about stopping police violence. It was ends justifying the means. Okay, understand something. They ain't gonna come to your aid and help you because the goodness of their heart. Civil rights movement destroyed the black economy in America, and them dollars went and saved America. And if you read up on it in 1971, 1972, they did have a stock market crash. The banks did lose. They lost a lot of homes. A lot of people who owned homes and their bank collapsed. They never had to make another payment. Their house was theirs then. That happened in the early 70s. But what saved it was that black dollar. And so that's why I always get furious when somebody say, shoot, black folks don't get together. We need to get together in our money and put our money together and have business. We already did that. We did that so many times, and each time it was destroyed. We have 28 cities that we created after antebellum slavery. Okay, chattel slavery. 28. Okay, and all of them were destroyed. Everybody slaughtered, killed. Okay, we had our Wall Street in Durham, North Carolina. We had our Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. All those was Wilmington, North Carolina. All those was wiped out, you guys. We used to own the Outer Banks. Okay, 98% of the property in the Outer Banks was all black folks. Not anymore. See, stop sitting up talking like we need to contribute more to the economy. We need to pull away from it. We need to help destroy it. Because I'm getting a little fed up with you guys with these stupid remarks you're making. You sound like idiots. I remember going to black restaurants. Nice ones. As a little kid, boy, I remember my aunt. She was in the Muslim, okay, and she took us all. Well, my mom took us, but my aunt, okay, we went there to visit her mosque. Okay, they were having a big, like Founders Day or something like that celebration there in Akron, Ohio. Never will forget. They had the biggest, beautiful. I had never seen a restaurant like that before in my life. It was posh. It was like what you would see 5 star. And we sat there and of course, your mom back then, and we're talking in the 60s, mom nudge you and make you sit up straight and act like you had some sense. You didn't, just by the look of the place, I knew that, okay, ain't no monkey shine in the day. And I seen the sharpest people. I seen kids my age, young men my age, boy, they had on nice shirt and tie, suit and tie. Everybody was neat, clean. The restaurant served food that overabundance of food on your plate. Everything was just beautiful. And then we went from there, we went to the mosque and heard, what's his name speak? The leader, okay? Elijah Muhammad. Heard him speaking, okay? Sat up there in the audience. Oh my God, everything was just so peaceful and so beautiful. I seen all that. What if y'all have never seen that kind of stuff before? Okay? Never witnessed it. Quit asking for it though. Because not unless you're willing to shed some blood. Okay? Because you try to start black banking that excludes them, that uses another country's currency. All right? You try to do something like that, see if you don't get wiped off the face of the earth. You try to open black schools. Everybody talking about these black education schools and this. No, no, no. Now Project 25 is talking about doing away with the Board of Education. Okay, in the government, but they ain't going to allow you to separate yourself from their education system. That's not going to happen without fight, without some bloodshed. So unless you're willing to drop some blood, y'all need to shut up with all this doggone talk. You need to be sounding like me. They want to burn it down. Damn, let's do it. I stand right with you. I'll watch you do it. I ask you, do you want unleaded or leaded gas? What do you want? I got a bucket of each. Which one you want? You need some matches or a lighter? Okay? All you gotta do is just tell me I got what you need. I'm gonna help you burn that bitch down. I'm gonna give you everything you need, even the reason. So, just thought I'd throw that in there because you guys need to know I ain't dumb. I thought all this out. I know that there's no control of the military. I know that. That's their weakness. Currency is their weakness. And the hatred of you is the biggest weakness. That's the big one. Because that's the one that got that old boy where he's at now. Nothing else. He ain't promised nobody nothing. He ain't did nothing for no damn body. But that, let's go back in time. And they on board. Because they see y'all hanging from a rope. That's the only thing that excites them with that man. So, listen. I love you. And I'm Nathan Robinson. And I'm back quiet.